All right, everybody, welcome back here to SimTraX Broadcasting. We have our eyes set here on Brian Jones in the 45 Ford out there as he gets ready to take the track here tonight for the race here at the UAW-GM Quality 500. I'm excited to see what all comes of this race here tonight as we bring you the Lowe's Motor Speedway track. These guys getting ready out there, excited. Playoffs are going, and we've got tons of guys switching back and forth. I mean, we're talking a 4-position gain in the points for Vincent Arthur, which was a huge turn, especially with him placing second last week. Now, Talladega and Kansas have been some messy races. We're hoping iRacing is considered updating the draft package out there, as it has been abysmal here in the past couple of races. Talladega was almost impossible for guys to make any sort of passing out there. Kansas, you couldn't pop out to the side, or you had to dive bomb to try to get in to the next turn, which was absolutely atrocious, and guys had hated it the entire run. So let's go ahead and take a look here at our starting run here for Charlotte, what we're going to be set up for, with a 200-lap race for you guys, 77% fuel limit and 10 sets of tires down in the pits. This, of course, being a fixed setup league with no fast repairs. You should be pretty excited, though. Stella rejoining us back here as a commentator. Appreciate you coming back here on this side of the pond. I'll be your lead producer, and Greg Thiessen will be ready to go here out there as our race control. Hopefully you'll have a little bit of control here tonight. That's 71% of humidity out there. Going to make it a little bit slick out there on the track. I think it's a little colder than they expected at 68 degrees. But this being in October here, Stella, expect colder temperatures.
Yeah, that should make this track a little bit different probably than when they practiced. This being a night race, and they had their qualifyings much earlier in the day.
Yeah, well, as we hopefully they are able to kind of combat what the tires are going to be doing out here at Charlotte. I'm definitely a little bit nervous, if I were them, that any setup or what I've been doing to set this car up and make sure this thing feels good is really got to be number one on the list here tonight. So let's take a look at our starting lineup here, where Ryan Housden and Vincent Arthur will be starting 1 and 2. Moving on to Brian Jones, who sits third, Dalton Tucker fourth, Nick Giles starting on the inside of row number 3 with Josh Conover. Well, he had a horrible finish last week, but he did quite well out there at Kansas, with John Skavnicki sitting in 7th and Brady Mose. Well, the process is working. He gets another top 10 start. Moving on to Jacob Gladelick, who sits in 9th. Wayne Eastwood being in our 10th position. Not bad here for when we find ourselves tumbling in the 6th row here with Hunter Sr. and Cody Reeder. Cody Reeder getting a little far back. Normally he's one of the quicker guys here at Charlotte, but he'll have currently, I believe, Matthew George, Nick Pressey, Jake Christenberry, Nick Ham, and Joseph Andahar going ahead and rounding out the remaining of bit of our field. Right now, Stella, I've got to say that is going to be a quick front row here tonight. I'm excited to see what they've got in store for us, especially with Vincent Arthur having some pretty low races, not really getting a good jump out there to be fast, but he's got an opportunity here tonight to try to see if he can catch up to Dalton Tucker, who's unfortunately starting directly behind him.
Without a doubt, Vincent's probably got a big target right now, looking to make a win here in these playoffs. I see, like you say, he's starting second. What's unusual about this set of grids tonight is all the way down to the 12th driver, they all qualified. A lot of times only, say, the top third of the field qualified. But tonight it's all the way down to 12 out of our 17 drivers. So I think we've got some real pros out here tonight.
Well, this being a track that everybody enjoys, first starting out there for iRacing. This is one of the free tracks you go out there and race the street stocks in. So everybody is very, very familiar with this track. Fortunately, I thought we may have been on more of the legacy track with the yellow walls out there. This being the here at technically Lowe's Motor Speedway before Charlotte and NASCAR had taken it over. That this track would be a lot bumpier. These guys were a little nervous about how this race was going to end up, and I tell you, I would be nervous, especially trying to put this kind of power around the cars and getting out there. And another plus side, Brian Jones should be back in the rig, back at the house. And I think that's why we're seeing him right now on the inside row. Fortunately, not racing on a laptop here tonight.
Yeah, I watched that Kansas race, and he was doing really, really well until he wasn't. But that was a feat to behold. And here we go, green flag racing.
Lap 1 underway here already. Brian Housden, no surprise there, gets the breakout. Brian Jones trying to close the gap here and shut the door on Vincent Arthur. Vincent Arthur pushes a little too hard, gets a little squirrely coming out, but Brian Jones knows he has got to get in the clean air if he wants any success here at the track. The Expel machine just barely making it on by, squeaking right now. 3/4 of his car on through, but Housden's still holding him tight there on the bumper.
Sure is. He's got his number, and someone's got asphalt as the sparks flying.
Yep, car's built a little too low out here as they shoot down the backstretch. Currently, Brian Jones out in front by 2 car lengths, and don't knock away the target machine, the number 41 Chevrolet there on Brian Housden. He's going to be looking to bear down on Brian Jones very quickly here before the tires begin to fall off. Jones knows it. He's a little bit harder on it now. 3 car lengths out front on lap number 3.
Good. You're talking about this being the newer track. I was kind of curious too because it was the 2005 season of this track that was just a wreck fest, and they finally did pave it in 06. So I thought it was a terribly bumpy track, but this looks like a beautiful Charlotte.
Yep. Well, they don't want to punish these drivers any more than they have to out there, as they've been definitely getting their doors beat in the past couple of races. A little more sparks flying out of these Gen 4 cars. Expect to see that here tonight as they've got them snug super close down here to the track. Josh Conover getting a little closer here to Dalton Tucker. Right now, Conover was taking a peek around there in his Chevrolet, trying to see if he can find a lane underneath Dalton Tucker. Tucker being very cautious here. The number 8 machine there from the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated team. Right now, he's playing very good defense here while still looking to attack the Hendrick Motorsports car there of Vincent Arthur, who's sitting in third. So Dalton Tucker in the sweet spot here, but might be under fire. Conover taking a look here, sticks the nose in, and he's got the New Jersey style. If he can get a nose in, he's got the lane. In he goes around through the tunnel, turns Stella right here at the line. They're side by side.
Boy, they are side by side. But that's I'm looking at the number 1, 2, 3 finishers at Dover. So I'm kind of curious stay together in this pack.
Yep, full clear there by John Conover. He ends up getting separated. The man who's trying the process here, staying out front of Cody Reeder, who's gained 3 here on the night out there in the Mountain Dew machine. Definitely keep an eye. We are going to be looking at the Mountain Dew machine when we see those guys out at Darlington. For the Mountain Dew Southern 500, that'll be the crown jewel, the second to last race here of the year, and they'll be really excited to head there, as we will definitely be crunching down via the points. We'll show you a little bit of the points here later on tonight for the playoffs. But Stella, we are looking at 200 whopping laps here, and I guarantee you, right now, quick moves here. Everybody wants to shift out front, but wonder which lap do they decide to start hanging back a little bit and start taking care of these tires.
Yeah, I am kind of curious if they end up doing what they did working with Talladega as a race. If they keep that up, we're going to see some green flag stops. That's
I've got to admit, really, the National Race Association has been turning it around out there. They had a boatload of cautions in a single race that made a lot of guys not consider returning back to this league, and since then, they have really been cleaning up their act here and doing a fantastic job. Drivers really minding their own. Few mistakes are going to happen, but that is to be expected, or the slight mistakes out there, not blatant enemies out there that guys are smashing each other all to pieces out there, as I believe you even remember seeing that Dustin Kaleba, Vincent Arthur, Dalton Tucker are 3 top drivers here in the league, all involved in the same exact race and a lot of stuff going on. So let's take a peek here at Hunter Seniors. We see currently the battle for the 11th position. This is Jake Christenberry. Fresh off suspension, still in his probationary period. He's going to be out there on the outside.
Yeah, it's good to see Jake Christenberry back. Nice clean race.
Yep, right now, Jake Christenberry was able to break away and able to get away from Hunter Sr. The Silver Bullet has to sit back in the chamber again and get ready to attack here. A little bit later on as Cody Reeder is starting to get a little word from his spotter that Jake Christenberry is taking a look around the outside, but his spotter will be wrong. Christenberry to the inside. Here comes the shot for Christenberry to make top 10. He makes the solid pass.
Very nice. Good, clean run there.
And not bad here for this race so far. Definitely a lot of action happening out here on the track. Keep in mind, this was one of the 3 races that Jim Johnson had won this year. Actually, this was the beginning of his trifecta run during this year, back in 2003. So a couple of guys have been kind of pushing around to see if this is going to be the exact time he is going to do it. Excuse me, 2004. Is what I meant. So, yeah, my bad. That's my mistake. Yep, but that is going to be Jake Christenberry moving up into that top 10 position. So maybe a little 48 help could help with Christenberry. Unfortunately, not in the playoffs, though, which should be, you guys would go up there for the top. We'll see all numbers in yellow. Not in the playoffs. Numbers in green. We're in the playoffs. So currently, let's take a look at a playoff driver. Working the process here for Brady Moats. Take a look here at John Skabnicki.
Just kind of following their lines right now. Somebody who has moved a lot, also one of our playoff drivers, is the number 20, Jacob Gladwell. He started in the top 10 to get this race going, but now he's down in 15th. He is down 6 spots.
Yep, as Jack Gladelick is working his way backwards. Moving forward is Ryan Housden. Battle for the lead does fizzle out, though. Brian Jones able to hold him off. Currently, Ryan Housden is starting to think about his tires now as he falls back just a hair. Josh Conover made the pass at the exact same time around Dalton Tucker, pushing Dalton back to the 5th position. And Nick Geilis looking to attack. Going hard here into turn number 3 and cannot get it. Looked like he was a little worried about sliding up into our points leader there of Dalton Tucker. Good job there by Nick Geilis. Checks up and is looking to, I would say, looking to live to fight another day. Currently, let's take a look at the junior machine outside. The Hamlin machine's going to have to tuck back in. No can do for Dalton Tucker. Looks like that 42 Jamie McMurray car. Trying to see if he can come up with a little more speed. You see that high-low swing here. High side, trying to come back down. Conover, good block here as he's going to maintain 4th to get lap number 17 underway.
Yeah, the ones that keep going back and forth, Jake Christenberry fighting for that top spot.
Cody Reeder, known for keeping his tires and fuel out there in that race car. Currently, he did start in 12th, hasn't really been moving a whole bunch. I think he's waiting for the race to come to him, but as they switch back and forth, I'm wondering if this is Christenberry's line, if he really wants to be up toward that high side.
Not know. But out in the chat, we've got a little bit of talking going on. I see that Jacob Gladwell out there as Jay Green, here at the beginning. And LJ Hernandez is moving on Brian Jones, who is currently in the lead.
Yeah, join the lead is Brian Jones. He's only been really put down once there for a moment. As we hop on Dalton Tucker's machine, as we watch him make the pass, putting Conover back to the 5th position. Everybody calm, cool, and collected out there as they're trying to find another shot here. Taking a look, Cody Reeder again back to Christenberry. Seeing if he can fight it here, and I think Vincent Arthur's taking a look here at Ryan Housden. Housden slips up. Vincent Arthur there to attack down to the bottom. Here it comes. Full car length, got him. Turn number 3, very fruitful for a lot of drivers out here. They're seeming to find their groove and moving on through. Turn number 4, crossing the line. That's going to put Vincent Arthur now getting ready to hone in on Brian Jones. He's got him in his sights.
Yeah, it does not take long with Vincent Arthur. He's patient and wait behind you, but his first step he has, he is going to that spot.
All right, appreciate you out there. Ken Khalifa out there. We'll see if we can make an adjustment for you, everybody. And say, tell me when it gets a lot better. Stella, tell me a little bit about this racetrack. You know, I joked around a little bit out there with Vincent Arthur and a couple of the other guys about this track being built on a landfill. Hopefully none of these guys will fall into the sinkhole that happened out there around Turn 4.
Well, landfills, sinkholes, we've got bankruptcies, you name it, this track has been through it all. I mean, it's all the way back to 1959. So it's had some drama, even right off the bat. It went into bankruptcy, and good old Bruton Smith, I'm sure everybody recognizes that name, bailed out of it, came back 20 years later and had bought enough stock at such a low value that boom, he owned the place again. That's a shrewd businessman, if you ask me.
Very tough wheeling and dealing out there. Currently, Vincent Arthur still sitting back off Brian Jones. John Skabnicki sitting in 8th. Looks like Giles is on the plate now. Currently high side for him. He'll be up into the marbles there just a little bit. Skabnicki in the 43 looks to slice down here toward the bottom. Right now, as they make an adjustment out there, Giles adjusts the right side of his car there. Smashes it off the wall. Skabnicki doesn't seem to capitalize, though. Right now, the number 12, Ryan Newman, all-tail machine, high side, looking to see if he can get that Ford to rotate. He's able to hold off Wayne Eastwood as Eastwood gets the door slammed shut on him, and currently Cody Reeder gets the worst of it, hard in the wall.
Do you think we're running into tire issues at this point? I mean, we just saw people cutting the rug on the wall there.
Well, everybody trying to maintain a loose grip there on that steering wheel. Let the car do what it wants to do, and as you come out of the turn, it just, the centrifugal force helps you glide up, and I think they're not prepared for it. It gets up there, and then all of a sudden they're starting to get a little nervous, and possibly not nudging the wall there. Ken, hopefully let me know if that adjustment is good here, buddy. It takes a while for it to come through on your look. Okay. Currently, Giles in some trouble here. The 84 Wayne Eastwood watching this all happen from behind as he's under fire as well. Taking a look, Wayne Eastwood on top. Whoa, Giles. Super loose here as you see Hunter Sr. starting to poke into the screen. Currently, the silver bullet there, the Sterling Marlin number 40, getting ready to make a full pass here, but watch the CarQuest machine. High side, he's going to try to see if he can give a long sweep here, and he'll have a run here on the 40. Let's see if he can keep the 40 here of Hunter Sr. down toward the bottom. Thinking best of it, Wayne Eastwood does not send it 3 wide there. It looked like he had the momentum.
He may have the momentum, but looking at that 12 off to the right there, I would not want to be the meat in that particular sandwich. I think that's slice of bread like
Yep. All right, here we go. Brian Jones, it looks like he's going to be under fire. Currently, Vincent Arthur taking a look here to the inside. Currently, the Jeff Gordon Monte Carlo taking a peek here. Currently, Brian Jones at the line has him, though. Vincent Arthur falling back just a hair. Does he dive it into turn 1? As we get currently banking off this turn, Brian Jones, you see down there at the bottom left, trying to see if he can find a little peeking room there. No can do. Vincent Arthur falling backwards.
My goodness.
Yeah, currently Vincent Arthur is going to drive a little bit harder, gives him a nudge.
I thought he had cleared him, but
Well, take a look at Vincent Arthur had given a nudge there to Brian Jones. This is now allowing Dalton Tucker to take a look here to the inside. The battle for second starting to get lively. Well, I don't know if you tuned in during the Dover race or you remember anything about it. These two, Mike, getting side by side here. Remember, Conover had the tire advantage. Brady Moats tried to make a block. Conover sent him the rest of the way around. And Jake Christenberry going to be our first biter here for pit lane.
Okay. He's not going down there. He's just that 4 tires and fuel.
Yep. Well, I would assume during caution that would be the time you try to pull out any of those dents, seeing that I don't think there's too many cars out here that haven't already earned their Charlotte stripe there on the right.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Vincent Arthur taking another wing, and that is a pass.
And Brian Jones, don't knock him down yet. Take a look here. Shot to the inside. Taking a look, seeing if he can squeeze him toward the wall. Brian Jones doing an excellent job. You know exactly that was him trying to send a message. Driving him deep into that turn high side, and Vincent Arthur fights back. Good job by Vincent Arthur. Looked like he was going to smack that wall there, but he does maintain. Brian Jones taking another look. He'll stay high.
Wow, I expect this kind of finish. I would love to see everybody working as hard at the finish. Maybe how I would put that. So we have a second person, Joseph Andujar, went ahead, came in, like Jake Christenberry, got 4 tires.
Andujar has been having some trouble here. He's been sitting in the dead last place out there, and hopefully he's able to figure it out here, and it looks like Jake Christenberry has served a black flag here. I think he sped out.
Oh, so he's having to do a drive-through?
Yes.
Ouch.
Yep, so that's going to cost him another 25 seconds on the book. So that's really going to bite. So Christenberry is going to end up a few laps down here. Conover still working on Brady Moats, and we've got a ton of action out here on the track. It did look like Brian Jones, I've got to admit, from the way we've seen the 45, I think LJ and Alanis would even agree that that expel machine went ahead and let that 24 go that time. Vincent Arthur was not going to be denied again, but Brian Jones, I think, went ahead and let him go, noticing that we're probably going to have to pit here in less than 10 laps. Let's go ahead and let the 24 burn his stuff up and try to attack a little bit later on. Brian Jones is known, just like Cody Reeder, for offset pitting, and that's definitely, I think, what brings him in the podium position each and every week.
Yeah, that is one thing that I did, I've always kind of said, is not just the offset, but practice your pitting. I mean, you've got to know when your tires are worn down to the wires, you're not going to be able to make the stops that you need to make sometimes to get into pit road. We did see that in Kansas. Oh, there we go. That should be Vincent Arthur coming in, as well as Dalton Tucker down pit road.
Yep, both those guys are working their way down pit road. They're the only two here. That means Brian Jones is going to resume back into the lead. Houston, Brady Moats, Hunter Sr., and Josh Conover. Conover been on the roll back here as of late, but check back in on the lead. It looks like Ryan Houston going to go ahead and get around the 45 Ford. I expect to see Brian Jones work his way into pit here in the next handful of laps. Brady Moats almost 2 3/4 of a second off the lead here. He's got a ways to go before he can catch back up. See if he can run these guys down. Currently, Ryan Houston taking way off. I don't know if Brian Jones, something's up here. He is backed way off. Taking a look there, running up on the lap car of Joseph Andujar. I do want to note out there that some fast times out there. Jake Christenberry, after a while, about 4 laps ago, knocked down a 29:37. That is the second fastest time of the night. Who holds the fastest time? Brian Jones, the one with the most laps led here tonight. He is out, currently still there in the front spot, but he is currently hanging out in second. Ryan Houston leading this one.
Yeah, Vincent Arthur, I think, forgot to buy his pit crew in there. He had a long pit stop, over 15 and a half seconds. Everybody else is majorly 15 coming out, even with 4 tires of fuel. Either that or he had a fender that he had to pull because he has flying out there.
All right, you're noticing who has tires and who doesn't. Currently in the danger zone is going to be Dalton Tucker. Look at where he's doing, flossing back and forth, getting around Guileless and Stabnicki. These guys currently 6th and 7th out there on the track. But notice how much time. We got more drivers coming down pit road. That's going to be Brian Jones and Brady Moats next. As Hunter Sr. is working his way out. There's Ryan Allison. And now Vincent Arthur getting blocked up pretty tight here by Jake Christenberry, who's out in front. Boy, this is a mess out here all over the track as we got trouble here on the track. Christenberry. No caution yet as he flies off the track, back up the track.
We do.
As we are trying to find him out there, Christenberry destroyed. Guileless caught up in it.
Uh-oh.
And that's what I was worried. If there was going to be trouble, 3 drivers being sent down pit road. Nick Guileless, Wayne Eastwood, Jake Christenberry.
I think Christenberry might have blown his engine. I saw some interesting little smoke there. Ooh. And he did have to be towed.
Guileless destroyed.
Oh.
Wayne Eastwood was destroyed. There he is. Right front wheel came off.
Wow.
Drivers who did not pit. This is a beautiful time. And what timing it would be. Not to go laps down here. That means drivers like Josh Conover. And actually our top 5. Conover, Gladelick, Pressey, Matthew George, and Nick Ham. Pressey up 11 positions. Not bad there by the Zero Machine.
Was Cody Reeder in that too?
Not that, yes. Cody Reeder was collected.
Oh, wow.
I do not see any broken suspension, so I think he's trying to fix up as much of this as possible. Nobody in the infield car care center, so we should be maintaining. And we will definitely take a look here at the mistake that was made out there on the track as pit road is getting busy. Let's take a look. 3 drivers here. Oh, Vincent Arthur into Christenberry. Reeder collected. No caution until this part right here.
Oh, Nick. Right into the back of him.
Yeah, I think he didn't expect the 48 to ricochet. I think what gets me is the 19 not only collected one time, but returns back and gets hit again.
He tried to squeak out of there, and there was no squeaking.
Yeah, this is the worst part. You see Vincent Arthur, I think he's trying to make a groove. And I think too much, because remember these two moving around so aggressively out there, trying to make up some ground. And here's Reeder hard into the wall. And I don't know if he's lost his steering here.
I don't know. But then,
that's what destroys Eastwood.
Yep.
And he's trying to get out of there, avoid any more damage. It gets pinched again.
Whee. All right. Well, caution number 1 on lap with 39. 37. 37.
Boy, and here's Cody Reeder. I'm wondering if he had any suspension damage here. Look, Cody Reeder never sees it. That's full steer. He can't turn it anymore. Bam. Really can't blame Reeder here. He's trying to get going. See it? I mean, he's got that thing cranked.
Yeah.
So Eastwood getting in the back of him, that just seemed to be a victim of circumstance here.
Get me off this track.
So Christenberry's blown to bits here. Wayne Eastwood, much of the same. Looks like the engine survives, but the suspension does not. Nick Guileless destroyed. Heavy lean there to the right. And Cody Reeder looks like he is revisiting, coming back down pit road. After he spent 2 minutes and 15 seconds last time, I think he's trying to find the box.
Yeah, I was kind of curious. Nick Geilis pulled in a moment ago and then pulled back out. I think he had either missed his box or missed where his box should be.
All right, pace car lights are off. That means Brian Jones, Brady Motes, Nick Pressey will be our first three in the line. Joseph Andahar will have a chance to get one of his laps back here as he tries to take off on the inside line. Andahar gonna watch Brian Jones and Brady Motes get on around. Watch Nick Pressey. Pressey been having some motherboard issues here. Earlier this week has been able to square it away just a little bit, and we've already got guys beating their doors in out here. Nick Ham up to 6th.
But we can't be taking everybody out because there's not a lot of people to go out for lap 45.
Well, almost a quarter of the way through this race. Before our first caution came out, I do want to go ahead and give a round of applause here to the Nashville Racing for keeping that caution to a minimum out there. 4 drivers, unfortunately, are stuck down pit road, leaving us with 13 still mobile out there. Landis out there rooting on the 45. Yep, imagine that when he is not on the G27 and on a laptop. This guy is back into the lead. Brian Jones thinking smart, pitting smart. 4 tires and fuel. Lap number 39. He remains out there on the track.
Yeah, I heard that laptop was easing tougher and tougher to keep it going.
I hate to see it happen. I know back in the Bandit Racing League, Nick Nickerson actually bought a gaming laptop for the exact same issue. He ended up getting called into work and having to drive away. He would just take the wheel and make it happen. Now, unfortunately, the Bandit Racing League has bowed out there, which is rather unfortunate, but we do have an opportunity to talk to one of our drivers down there. Check and see in the infield car care center. I am fairly certain I've got the number 19 of Cody Reeder. He's ready.
All right. Bring him in.
Yep, we're already here. Go ahead, Cody Reeder.
Hey there, Cody. How you doing tonight? Well, maybe I should have asked you that about 10 minutes ago.
Just great.
So tell us from your angle out the front or up the back or wherever they got you. How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's just Vinny being Vinny. That's just kind of all I can say about that.
He made some contact with Jake Christenberry recently.
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting in the position where he's going to be leading the race and trying to be aggressive. Take it 3 wide, wreck the lap car, wreck me. Sitting 3rd in the points right now. And yeah, if I had 10 points for every time I got caught up in Vinny's mess this year, I'd probably be leading points standings.
I understand that. But,
The Evernham Motorsports crew has been taking a pretty big beating out there this year, and especially, let's say, in the last 10 races. Dustin Cleveland getting mashed to pieces last race. We see a little bit of trouble on your end this time. I mean, it's hard to say, really where is there going to be a breaking point for you guys during these playoffs to try to get ahead here?
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason we're probably not coming back next year. There's no accountability for guys like Vincent. Last year we had a guy named Vincent Krause was his name. Eric Krause or something like that. I don't remember. But he drives just like Vinny. Every race is wrecking somebody, is having contact with somebody. Yet, that guy was penalized for it, held accountable. But in this league, if your name's Vincent Archie, you can kind of do what you want and get away with anything. So that's why we're probably not coming back next year. We're gonna go do something else. And yeah, good luck to this league. But yeah, I think we're out.
Dang, I hate to see it, buddy. You guys are a heck of a racer, and you really make me question each and every race here, Cody. What are you doing? Sometimes you go out there and you offset pit sometimes, man. And I don't know how you do it. I think, sometimes you drive in an extra 6 laps to stretch the fuel just a little farther. Sometimes it's suicide, but it works out for you as long as you can avoid the 24. But as long as you can stay out of trouble, man, it just seems to work out for you each and every week. And I just hate to see the Evernham Motorsports gang. Yeah, there are 3 of you here, and all of you have made the playoffs. You guys are all getting mashed to pieces when it comes out here, and I hate to see it. I believe, Kraus, I do remember, but that was next gen days, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was next gen Cup days. It was last year, but they raced it back and one guy was hated, and one is loved by his
beer. Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Cody.
It's just I was going to be on the winning strategy there. I was one of 2 guys that could make it on the field on that strategy, doing a 40 laps there, and the other guys were going to have to make an extra pit stop, and it's like, I'm doing all I can to stay alive and stay.
Yeah, I get it, man. It's definitely what happens when we get into the playoffs, and I would say, looking at the entirety of this season, it continues. It actually happens way before the playoffs, trying to get in. And it's just I hate to see it there, Cody. I'm sure the In the Fence podcast out there has been struggling to talk about anything else except 24 turning you guys facing the wrong way on the field. So it's pretty rough, man. I know. I thought it was some pretty dangerous driving out there between Dalton Tucker and Vincent Arthur. Slicing through the field. We could tell fresh tires were on both those vehicles. And we even rode along with you during that caution, and you never saw anything happen. All you saw was a car just come across the nosy, and that was it. You were just kind of wiped out there, and unfortunately it does ruin your night. You are still mobile, though. I mean, is there a chance that we may see you back on the track?
Oh, you'll see me on the track.
All right, Cody. You remember you're driving the 19, not the 9. Easy there, brother. All right? You want to give me a shout-out while I got you up here?
Shout out to the Infield Care Center taking care of our motorsports this year. It's been great all the time. We're on a first-name basis in there, thanks to Vincent Arthur in the 24 car. We've made a lot of good friends in there. Deborah, her birthday's next week. We're gonna give her. I'm sure we'll see her next week. I'll come prepared when he jumps one of us next week. Make sure we give her a gift.
I'm sorry.
Cody, good luck to you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys from the Evernham Motorsports and KPR out there never cease to amaze me. Dustin Kaliba can come up with some jaw-dropping stuff, and I think I see why those two get along so well. Unfortunately, they have been holding hands together in the Infield Car Care Center for most of the season. Despite their points lead, they've been doing a heck of a job, which is a fantastic time to go ahead and spot this here and see if I can get us a little juice here of what our playoffs confirmed here. My points are correct. They are? All right, beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here, guys. That way you guys can see what our points running is here. Coming into Charlotte, pretty tough here, as you see Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones, Cody Reeder, and Vincent Arthur making up 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are our playoff drivers. I would probably say Kevin Baumler is most likely out of this one. I don't think he's going to be able to come back and make something of it. Matthew George and Josh Conover, I think, are on the teetering edge. If you're not within 200 points here, with less than 6 races to go, you're going to be in some deep, deep trouble. Dalton Tucker's deal is he's just got to be consistent out here. Right now with Brian Jones in the lead, Dalton Tucker currently sitting in 4th. Jones is going to be able to get a little bit of a kind of a step forward into seeing if he can get just a little more But Cody Reeder getting smashed to pieces here. That's going to go ahead and move Vincent Arthur on past him, regardless if he is a lap down or not. Stella, the only reason I made the joke out there earlier, as I said, he is the 19, not the 9 out there. As the conflict that we had during was one of the races out there, where Dustin Kleba had gotten his car fixed up and pulled the Days of Thunder move, was able to get 4 tires back in the car, mobile enough to get back out there, and some contact out there with the 24. I knew it was a very touchy subject to talk about, but an owner's vote went out there to the other drivers, and it ended up passing that he would not serve any punishment out here on the track for any kind of qualifying or end-of-line penalties out there.
Yeah, I think there were 3 of them that were having a bit of an appeals issue, if I remember right.
Yes.
But everybody said, let's let it ride.
Yep. Dustin Kleba did serve a drive-through, though, checking back at my notes. Did serve a drive-through, but it was Vincent Arthur, Dalton Tucker, and Dustin Kleba, and that is now the second driver from the KBR Motorsports with the Evernham Motorsports since we are here in the 2004 season that is vowed not to return. I hate seeing that right now. There's a couple of strong drivers out here. I would say that mostly drive without attitude. Yeah, you know, they drive with intensity, but not attitude. I would say that, you know, a lot of things have been kind of questioned here, Stella, in this league, and I'm not saying, you know, we are the be-all, end-all, we're the fixers here of the league, as we see Dalton Tucker make that pass there on Brady Motes, going ahead and securing his second position. Right now, Brian Jones is still leading this race, though. Brady Motes is going to be playing chase. I think his tires are about plumb wore out here, as he serves a 2-lap deficit on his tires. But we see, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to politely word this. One person is able to get away with a lot. One person is trying a lot harder than they've normally had to. Some of these wins had become chip shots, and they are no longer. With these guys increasing and improving week after week. And Stella, we like to see that, I believe, over in the Racing Revolution. Let's think of one. How about Nick Owls? Nick Owls was a back 15 driver, and then that guy was finishing top 5 every week. So guys like, guys like Robert Rader were having trouble coming away with a win. You know, you know, when it was almost a piece of cake. They go to Kansas, and they knew that was the win for them. You know, they were going to make it, and they end up finishing 7th. And, you know, you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's, you know, this is my best track, and I'm finishing 7th. So when you got a guy who can win 9 to 11 races out of a season normally, and is struggling to make 5, you know, or making those 5 by any means necessary, it definitely puts a lot of pressure on that driver. I like seeing the league grow to where it's not, how do they say it, the same guy.
Rednecks winning every week.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure PC wise, but yeah, but how's it not the same guy every week? You know, is winning, and that's what I like to see is a couple of different guys. You know, I mean, okay, we got drivers like Hunter Sr. here. This is a perfect example. Ryan Housen. To me, these guys come almost out of nowhere. I can guarantee these guys top 10s. Ryan Housen is a tough driver. Hunter Sr. later in the race is a tough driver. I think that Hunter Sr. sits back a lot and doesn't attack. And he is able to make something of his races. And Hunter Sr. is doing an awesome job out there. You know, especially with how he came into this league. You know, and finally, I would have to say that Dalton Tucker finally has some support out there from the number 40 and the number 41, which, if you think about it, the Chip Nossi crew are all currently sitting top 5. Dalton Tucker, Ryan Housen, and Hunter Sr. I mean, this is right now that he couldn't be he's got to be tickled right now, seeing how I've got teammates around him. If we end up under caution and we're not involved, he gets to restart with these guys almost right with him again. So this should be really, really awesome out there. Stella, if you wouldn't mind, double check down there on the Dale Jr. machine and see what happened out there back on lap number 50 to 52 out there and see what in the world is going on. I see Brian Jones currently leading this race here. Dalton Tucker, Brady Moat sitting 1, 2, and 3. We've got Ryan Housen who sits in the 4th position, and Hunter Sr. rounding out our top 5. Nick Presley is 6th. Matthew George 7th. Jacob Fladlick is sitting out there in 8th. Not bad out there from the Tony Stewart machine as his Chevrolet goes ahead and finishes off. The Chevrolets were 2nd through 8th. We finally find ourselves our second Ford here in the top 10 with John Skabnicki sitting in 9th and Nick Ham. Nick Ham normally does not qualify. He sits in the back of the field, but the 23 finally coming alive here and is sitting in the top 10. Moving on, Vincent Arthur still scrambling here as we get a little bit of a waking there through our camera. Vincent Arthur sitting there in the 11th. And I believe Joseph Andahar is getting here into pit road for his 3rd time here tonight. He is currently sitting in 12th. Cody Reeder is still mobile. Boy, he's got some trouble with that race car, though. He served 2 minutes and 15 seconds the first round. Last time was 9 minutes and 41 seconds. Joseph Andahar, I think, is taking it back to the garage. Lap 72 is as far as he went.
Yeah, Josh Conover has also taken it back to the garage for now. He said he was just pushing a little too hard and decided to try to trade places with the wall.
Okay, well, that would explain the 7 minutes his body crew was trying to see if they could straighten out that car, and no can do. They're going to have to take it back where the rest of the tools are in the garage. So maybe we'll see him return. I don't think so, as he will most likely be retiring for the night. So retirees for the night are going to go to the 17th place driver there of Jake Christenberry. Wayne Eastwood will not be returning, sitting 21 minutes down pit road on 16th position as we got our eyes here on Vincent Arthur getting closer to another one of our playoff drivers out there of Brady Moats, who's currently sitting in 3rd. Nick Gillis, who's sitting in 15th. Is out 19 minutes. The number 12 destroyed. Josh Conover made it to lap 52, taking it back to the garage. Cody Reeder, still mobile. He's sitting 13th. He might be able to pick up another position here on Joseph Andahar, who only made it to lap 72. I think he's only got about another 15 laps to tie. And Joseph Andahar, who is taking it back to the garage. He finished there in 12th. Ryan Housden. Looks like he's coming down pit road for his 2nd time here tonight. Finally getting busy. Right now he's got his pit crew ready and waiting for him. 4 tires and fuel is the call for the 41 Chevrolet. They're going to see what all is kind of chalked up on this one. Currently running 31-second laps. He's ready to get down back into the 29, so 4 tires and fuel for him. Housen's going to go a lap down. Hunter Sr. now coming down. That's 2 drivers from the Chip Nasi crew coming on down. Wanted to see if Dalton Tucker will join them this lap. And that would definitely shift it around a little bit out there. Housen on 78, Sr. on 79. And see if Dalton Tucker comes in on 80. Nope. Dalton Tucker's going to break the chain here. Right now he's sitting just over half a second and closing in on Brian Jones. Matthew George in a little bit of trouble out here as he's taking a look here toward the inside of Nick Pressey. We don't talk about Matthew George a lot. He hangs there in the really about that 12th to 13th, about 10th position best we've seen here from George. He's been blasting his way up to the front here, taking a look and seeing if he can come away with it. Stella, you may remember a little bit about there. John Osborne for the Bandit Racing League. He shares something here with Matthew George. No wins here on the season, not even a podium. And this guy has made the playoffs, so consistency has been working there for Matthew George.
Well, Nick Giles was in the same position. The first time I saw him in the top 5, I think, actually, was there at Dover.
Yep, you are correct.
Why do you sound so surprised? Nick Pressey, John Skavnicki coming down pit road.
All right, currently looking, nobody's been penalized yet, as everybody seems to be coming down into pit road without any sort of speeding penalties currently. They are definitely...
We had one drive-through.
Yep. Well, nobody this pit cycle. Yep, it looks like everybody is still getting through here. Matthew George will now be working his way on in. We'll see if it maintains, though. Still staying out is the number 20 of Jacob Gladelick. This should help him get an extra 5 bonus points for leading a lap. So he hangs out with about 8 seconds ahead of Nick Ham. So number 23 as he works his way on in.
Josh Conover is in the chat. Says pushing too hard to try and gain any type of points. Back on 42-45, killed it once again. Season looks to be over for the famous number 8.
Oh, what? Well, hopefully he'll still be racing because Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the one who actually breaks it. Jimmy Johnson ended up with the trifecta here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Martinsville, and Atlanta. There may have been possibly 5, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins it at Phoenix before Jimmy Johnson returns back and wins it there at Darlington. So maybe, I'm hoping, that guys with the numbers, that they actually race out there and they feel a little bit...
akin.
Right. Hey! All right, what do you say we talk to the number 84? We haven't seen him up here in the infield car care center before. And see what all he's holding on to and see if he's got any grudges as well.
Oh, gosh.
There we go. Go ahead, Stella, take it on.
Hey there, Mr. Wayne Eastwood. What you doing in my infield care center? That scare you?
Nope, he hadn't logged it in yet. So we'll grab him here in just a second. I think I hear a little something going on there in the back, but he's still looking to see if he can fight through a possible mic issue. Not only did he take a hard smack to the wall, but that rear ending right there to the back of Cody Reeder's machine, Wayne Eastwood is taken here and out of the race, currently sitting down pit road for the last 27 minutes. The 84 Chevrolet is scrambling to see if he can find something to get that car back mobile again, but I don't know, seeing he only made it to lap 40 and we're crossing the line here to start lap 88.
Yeah, I'm here now.
There you are. How you doing over there?
This Discord thing. Oh, not too bad. Just sitting out here watching you guys talk and watching these guys race.
You're watching me talk. I want to know how you're doing.
Subtitles.
Oh, okay.
Closed caption.
Okay. I was going to say, you just don't tell me what I'm wearing, okay? There you go. I finally got somebody to laugh tonight. It's, tensions are high out there this evening, aren't they?
Yeah, we didn't get too far into this one. We were kind of ready for it to go pretty much green the whole way and just kind of settle in and find our groove and see where we fit in. And yeah, a little bit of impatience there, it looked like. But didn't expect him to come up the track. Talked about the 19. When he did, I couldn't turn left fast enough and slow down fast enough, and unfortunately just ran right to the back of him.
But then he said he couldn't turn left at all.
Yeah, it
So,
looked like he got destroyed too. So I don't think.
yeah, we did a
Just
little
racing
bit of
incident.
in cockpit view, and he had it cranked all the way to the left, and he's still going up the track, and it was like no. But it does happen. But since you're enjoying your ice cream down there in pit road, do you want to give some shout outs before we let you go put your sprinklers
Well,
on?
Yeah, man. Shout out to all the guys who put this together every week. It's so fun being able to come into a really good field and knowing that you're going to get raced well by everybody. And yeah, shout out to that's my crew chief, Mr. Scott Lay. He's there almost every week with me, trying to help me keep tabs on everybody and fuel strategies and stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to you guys too. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, it's our pleasure. That's pretty nice. You having a proper crew chief. That's got to be quite the advantage.
Yeah, it keeps my eyes where they need to be and not looking around and trying to do a bunch of stuff. So yeah, he's awesome.
The
Very
dreaded
cool,
black
very
box. Well, Stella, when you're having to make an adjustment, especially down pit road, and you really only have that choice in about that 18 seconds before you get into the pit box. Making adjustments with guys swerving, left and right. It's 10 times easier if you have somebody else selecting it for you. He pulls into the pit box and he worries about getting out. So that is definitely an awesome advantage. Wayne Eastwood, hate to see you out of this race here, buddy, but hopefully we see you return next round, buddy. Good luck out there. Not bad for out there running the Kyle Busch machine. Catch you next week, brother.
Yep, thanks guys.
Yep. All right, Stella, that is going to do it there for Wayne Eastwood out there in the number 84 machine. He definitely holds on tight, though, as he's going to be setting himself up for next week. Now, we've been talking to one of these drivers a little more than we probably should have, and I would say the number 8 machine there of Josh Conover getting blown to bits here week after week after week, and Josh Conover, I think, is probably keeping an eye on one of his teammates out there who's trusting the process a little too much. Currently, that number 1 machine out there, normally driven out there by John Andretti, has been actually smashing that Chevrolet to pieces and grinds off the wall. Well, Josh, it looks like you've greeted the wall, and Brady Moats is doing much of the same.
Yeah, we're both struggle busting tonight. He can run the top better than most people I've seen here. A couple years ago on the next gen, he was the fastest car on track and was like the only one up top that could make it work. I tried it, and it felt good, but didn't have the pace. And then, yeah, I was pushing too hard, like I said in the chat, trying to catch these guys on points any little bit that I could. Ended up ruining the night.
A lot of people are having their nights flipped upside down here during these playoffs. Is it anything that iRacing has done, or is this just luck of the draw out here for so many of these guys not having that opportunity to try to recover?
I think with this format, you have a little bit more time to recover. Granted, this will be the second DNF in back-to-back weeks for me, so not really helping myself in that aspect. But I mean, like I said in the chat, you look at the 45 and the 42. I don't think necessarily they finish out so far in chase. Like one off tonight, but otherwise he's been, top 5. I think Dalton has three wins out of the first 4 or 5 races, or whatever it is. So, there's a reason they're 1 and 2, and points right now even reader consistent in the playoffs, and he's P3. So that's what you got to be when it comes playoff time. You kind of get it out of the way in the regular season, and come chase time, and you got to straighten everything out. Unfortunately, he cars going backwards and find himself more in the infield care center than on track as of late.
Boy, I would say a lot of people have been getting that. I know a couple weeks ago, Dustin Kleba was pretty upset. He's taking a chat there with Cody Reeder. He's upset about tonight, about a few guys being a little more aggressive maybe than they should be, and I would say definitely knocks your morale down. Week in and week out in DNS. Right now, you're sitting in that seat. Kind of how do you kind of get your head set back on straight and say this race is going to be different, or do we get behind the wheel and say, well, let's hope for the best?
I don't know, Pat, truthfully. For me, it's as easy as just running, something else, so to speak. Like, I know I'm actually working on right now. We're on races next week. But, Tuesday I'll run a dirt race and change the scenery a little bit and kind of almost reset my head, so to speak. Maybe attack the last 3 or 4 races with a different state of mind. But, yeah, I don't know. It's I know that's what I do. That normally works for me, but it didn't work this week though, so we'll have to figure something out. But I don't know. I guess everybody's got their own thing. Stick to it if it works for them.
Yeah. Well, people are already getting wound up, and tensions are high before we even head to Martinsville. Martinsville normally, if you guys had simulators put next to each other, somebody's standing up and swinging at the other guy. I can pretty much guarantee you that. As we see a little bit of Ryan Housden getting a little bit loose there. That's right, we saw Brian Jones knocking the wall there about 2 laps ago, strafing down the side. So this track rubbering up a little bit differently as we break past the halfway point. Field thinning out here, pretty tough. But gosh, I hate to see it, man. A lot of guys starting to just get so upset before we get into Martinsville. I mean, I don't know. We always say yes, it's short track racing, and we've heard it said over and over and over again. But when we are upset in the 1.5 mile cookie cutters, and we're upset at a 2.6 mile track, when we try to squeeze these guys on less than a mile, what happens now? I mean, is this a chance everybody goes to get even?
Maybe. I kind of hate to say it because I love Martinsville, but I don't expect too many cars next week, truthfully, just because, obviously end of the year, but a lot of guys don't like Martinsville, not even just for the cautions, but just as a racetrack in general on the service. They get tired out and stuff. I personally love it. I think it's one of the better short tracks we have. You have to set up your passes. You can't I try and set the passes and it actually hones in your skills a little bit. And like I said, I love it, but a lot of guys don't. And there's 4 races left after tonight, so I don't know. I'm sure you'll see fireworks from somebody, especially if Brady and I are on track together. He stole the win from me.
There we go. All right. Well, I was going to say it should be. I find it a very technical track. Yes, setting up the passes, but that is really where I start saying the fatigue sets in. Guys start noticing, when laps are about 19 seconds, 21 seconds, very little room for error. Or if you do make a mistake, you can recover here in about a lap or 2 and try again. But, one huge mistake, and now all of a sudden the Hail Melon rule has been put out there that you can't do that anymore. It's a lot of guys have been trying different strategies. And Josh, we hope maybe that'll be your race where you can try to upset the field. I would say, if we can get a bunch of drivers out there, I'm not saying I want things bad for Dalton Tucker to happen, but if he finishes outside the top 20, might try to squeeze this points race down a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to need all the help we can get, because like I said, between him and Brian, they're bad nights for 2 and 5 which, hey, hats off to them. Yeah, like I said last week when we talked, Pat, I'm trying. I put something in the owner's chat, because, like I said, I think with all the rides we have filled, we should literally have 42, 43 car fields. So, I'm trying to get everybody in gear here and see I don't know. We'll, no promises. We're still trying on our end, and if not, I'm sure we can all. Well, yeah, but I'm sure we can all run on a big field all day for Daytona in February. So there's always that to look forward to.
Every time, every time we got to start charters and everything else there right at the beginning. Oh boy! All right, Josh, go ahead and give me your shout outs here, bud.
You guys, as always, appreciate the podcast. I've been watching. I know Wayne, when I talk to him, he's always sitting down watching. always compliments you guys every time he watches, and watch us back. The guys continue to show up and support. Without them, we wouldn't even be here. Especially 8 years, 9 years strong. So we'll keep trying. I'm trying to get the team owners butts in gear and keep trying to pull guys that are looking for. See what happens, I guess, if we can finish on a strong note here in 2005 with asterisks. Or sorry, 2004 with asterisks. And focus on 2005. See, I'm already jumping ahead, Pat. You see that?
Yep. I did it earlier tonight, too. Awesome. All right, Josh, good luck to you out there, buddy.
Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, everybody, that's Josh Conover out there as he gets finished up with his shout-outs and talking about the sponsorship and getting drivers out there. You guys know what to do. We'll talk about it here in just a little bit. But I'm wondering if Brian Jones is looking to see if he can put a fight back up. Stella, my big question right now is that 24 car. Look who's right behind him.
Yes, but he's just trying to get cut back. Isn't Vincent Arthur like...
Yep, well, I'm going to keep the camera here, and I hope he knows it. And I am going to keep eyes there on the 19. And the way Cody Reeder was talking, the 24 has ruined KPR's racing career here even for this season. And now back up front, Brian Jones taking a look here to the inside. Friendly Cody Reeder looking to slide up to the front. Getting close to that leader there of Dalton Tucker. Center Cody Reeder came back out. Lap 80. Dalton Tucker on 81. They should be about leveled out here. And Reeder making the clear. Around he goes.
Yeah, they fixed up his car pretty darn well if he's keeping up pace.
Yep. Well, remember, all four of his tires were still attached to the steering wheel. Definitely for an unfortunate event there. Taking a look at Vincent Arthur trying to make a pass here on the 45. Remember, Vincent Arthur, all of his passes here are not saying anything or not getting him any more positions. The 42 car is the one he needs to pass to get back onto the lead lap.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's currently a lap down. So I think if push came to shove, I thought lapped cars. Come to shove. No, I was just thinking as far as I've seen so many races that's out of leaders. But I guess if they're keeping pace, it's all right.
Yep.
So currently we have top 9. Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones, Hunter Sr., Brady Moats, Jacob Gladelick, Matthew George, Nick Cressy, John Skabnicki, and Nick Ham all on our lead lap. So the rest of them are maybe one lap down, and then we have the guys that got into the accidents, and they are 20 laps further behind at this point.
Yeah, getting pretty close though is Dalton Tucker. Starting to reel in Nick Ham there. See Nick Ham up a little bit farther here. He's in the turn, and here comes Dalton Tucker. Well, pretty close enough where we can almost share the same camera. Dalton Tucker slowly creeping in on him. Yep, but see, almost up toward turn 1, see the little speck in turn 1? That's him. That's Nick Ham. So.
Okay. So Cody Reeder's binoculars, Nick Ham's telescope.
Right.
Yeah, you were asking Josh Conover, how do you wrap your head around coming back out? And the more I thought about it, it's a lot like, I guess I could akin it to football. I mean, so Eli throws an interception. He's got to go back out, in the next round when Hunter Sr. comes down pit road. He's got to, after a loss of a game, you've got to come back out. Baseball, it's even worse. Sometimes you have a doubleheader. You don't even have time to sleep it off. So yeah, it's the nature of the sport, I believe. It's the nature of any sport.
Yeah, but if you're looking to compare it to baseball, you have a bad race. Boy, look how fast they're coming in. Whew. Brian Jones makes up a little bit of time there on Dalton Tucker. We'll see if he ends up with a speeding penalty. Brady Moats and Jacob Gladelick doing just the same. They're going to join down pit road. I don't know if Matthew George, I think George is going to stay out.
Yep.
He's going to have to go another time around to lead a lap.
Cressy will stay with him also.
All right. Let's shuffle up here. Over 3 seconds separate the top 3 drivers. So from Nick Pressy's standpoint, 3.2 ahead is George, 4.4 behind is Scabnicki. So shuffle it up a little bit.
4 seconds after that, we can.
There we go. Matthew George is going to go ahead and tally up 5 bonus points. Leading that lap. All right. When we were talking a little bit about comparing to another deal, it's baseball. Yes, there is practice, but I would say you have another game. It's when do they race at Charlotte again?
Oh, I don't look at it. Ooh, Jacob Gladelick is okay. We're just coming in. Kind of changed his mind about coming in pit road. It's not a matter of coming back to the track. It's like, oh gosh, I got to go to Minneapolis. Or Marlins, I got to go to Florida. I mean, to me, it's not the track. To me, it's just another game, another race, like you say. When are they coming back to Charlotte again? I don't know. I guess you look at it in that I'm better at Charlotte than I am at, say, Darlington. So what Josh was saying, darn, Kansas was the track, and here I'm not here. I'm not cutting it.
Right.
Down pit road.
Yeah, I just try to put it in perspective of guys practice for a week to come out here and get this right. You get wiped out in the first 40 laps of the race. Real life, you're looking at, multi-million-dollar car getting smashed to pieces out there. Your pit crew now has nothing to do. We've lost a chance at winning. Your sponsors aren't happy. And it's the same for a league that your sponsors, you've got to have happy sponsors. You've got to have good racing out there. The broadcast team to do their job, and everything's kind of got to go hand in hand. And Nick Ham, come on, you know better than that. Entering into pit lane way early. Almost slides back up and takes out Cody Reeder.
Man. Cody Reeder last came in pretty long stretch. Not like
He's down currently 20 laps.
I understand.
He pit back on lap 80. He's currently personally on lap 106. Only on 26 lap tire.
Done. Okay.
Yep. All right, Hunter Sr. here to the inside. Chip Nasi sitting 1, 2, and 4. This is huge right now. Brian Jones definitely feels outnumbered here. Currently charging up. Tire advantage is going to go to Brian Jones and Dalton Tucker, who both came in on lap 120. Senior and Hausman sitting back. Right now, Hausman came in 8 laps earlier than that. And Vincent Arthur. Caution.
Okay, he didn't tow. He just kind of had a
blinked out.
Oh man, I wonder if he.
All don't know. Something was up
having
there.
Technical trouble.
Dude.
I mean, technical
Checking
trouble.
back here on Vincent Arthur. Let's see what gets. Whoop.
Yeah. Did you see? It's almost like he hit a pothole.
What?
Can we do in cockpit as he winks?
Yeah, I'm trying to a little confused at the.
See? Oh, yeah. Disconnect. Wow. Well, that's going to shake things up a bit. He gained 4 last week, and now...
Here, the gas is maxed out. There it goes.
At least it doesn't show him beating his head against the steering wheel. That's what I'd be doing right about then.
Alrighty, well, this is going to change up everything as everybody is coming down in the pit road. Brian Jones turning in the Speedy Gonzalez this time. 10.63 seconds. He short pits it here. So he can get back out and maintain the lead. I think he was a little nervous about taking 4 and not keeping the lead. He's got to get out front. Boy. Brian Jones with a quick pit stop here.
That's an interesting call.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Now, was it at least 2? Or was it just splash and go? You're so good. Feel any better?
Me? I feel fine. How he's going to be feeling out there, we're about to find out. So, Vincent Arthur. Full disconnect here. Cody Reeder needs to... Math is right, about 15 laps. 14 laps now to get to pass him.
Oh.
I think it's going to be a moot point, though. He needs to stay out in front of the rest of them, but Brady Moats, I think, will be able to pass him via the points. So, but I give it to Cody Reeder for continuing the race. Definitely don't want to just check out here. Not quite sure what's going on here. I think they're telling him he has to start at the back of the line. He still has yet to pit since lap 80.
And he's not on the lead lap. Why does he have to start at the back? He is the first one that is a lap down.
Vincent Arthur is still a lap down.
Yeah, but he's taking it to the garage.
No, it's still Reeder's out there. He has to pass Vincent Arthur. All right, back on the green here. Brian Jones out front. All right, everybody, we take a look here at Brian Jones and Ryan Housman here, sitting 1 and 2, but we kind of hone in here on Hunter Sr. and Dalton Tucker. These are two teammates here, getting ready to see if they can pile drive the rest here of this race. I think we're going to be looking at one more pit stop here, all the way to the end.
Okay.
Right now, everybody's being safe. Everybody trying to just tick off these laps. Currently, I don't see another caution coming out. I'm not saying our troublemakers are down and out. Guys who are really aggressive out there on the track are the ones that are unfortunately sitting down in pit road. Currently, Brady Motes has been shuffling around up here as he's currently sitting in 5th. Look how much distance he makes up there. Yeah, Brady Motes picks up almost a quarter of a second through that turn, which is huge leaps and bounds. This was sitting back over 6.
Where did he go?
Yeah, 0.6 of a second behind brings them in to within less than 4/10. Nudging just under 3, and now he's fallen back just a little bit. Yeah, you can see both currently fighting a lot of understeer here. That car not wanting to cooperate with him as he's having to definitely fight that steering wheel. Sit here with Brady Motes.
Is that because the car does not want to stay that far down?
Yes. Yeah, he's continuing to turn while the car is starting to ride up into the turn. So he's got to straighten the wheel, pull down, straighten up, pull down. A lot of things shifting around and going wrong out there. Stella out there in the chat. Hello, welcome here to the UAW-GM Quality 500 here at Charlotte.
This will be the second start. Besides me. I've never seen so many Stellas in one place.
We had a Stella Strawberry a little while ago. Yeah. All right, let's kind of slide on up here to take a look at Dalton Tucker. Still holding on to 3rd. Currently still remains only 2 Fords here in the top 10. That goes to Brian Jones, who still holds on to the lead. Scabnicki, who's sitting down in 7th. The rest are all Chevrolets. Charlotte has been pretty kind to most of them out here. Vincent Arthur, Joseph Andujar, Josh Conover, Wayne Eastwood, and Jake Christenberry. All kind of smashing pieces out there. Vincent Arthur with a full disconnect. Drop along the wall. Therefore, Hunter Sr. Costs him just a little bit of time as he takes a look at the 42. Okay. There you go, Stella. Stella out there in the chat. And, change that. All right.
Oh, okay.
Good. So 1 in the same. We come up on 60 laps left to go here. This 200 lap bout. Some of your big names out there not getting it. Not getting a good run like they had hoped here tonight. Some still struggling. Right now I know Brady Motes would love to come away with a solid finish out here tonight. Now top 5 at the points as well. Right now Vincent Arthur checking out here. Might be finishing in 12th. Seeing that Cody Reeder is still rolling around out there. Trying to see if he can promote some karma there. So Vincent Arthur may be losing some positions here if Brady Motes will move on up. Cleveland lost 3 Ladlick is currently sitting in 8th. Ladlick looks like Silas only has 1 podium here for the season. Gillis with a little bit of an upset there.
Right on tail. I'm looking at some of these times, and they're going to be rolling like this for until they run out of gas.
Well, we've seen Brian Jones unfortunately falling back here later in the run. That was my only concern with him taking 2 tires. Is his tires already have enough fall off? Is he going to be having more fall off than he can manage later into this run? As you can see, Brian Jones having to play a lot of defense here. With Ryan Housden starting to apply some pressure. Pretty upset here. Hopefully Ryan Housden doesn't do anything crazy out there. I know he wants to make the pass. He's setting him up. Look, Housden taking a peek.
Ryan Jones makes a nice low block.
Yep. I wonder if those right side tires are getting a little more punishment. I have done the exact same pit stop that we saw from Brian Jones. He's taking that right side, trying to tighten up that race car. Let the left side slide just a little bit. We currently see Dalton Tucker do a little bit of sliding. He moves up to the 2nd position. Pretty impressive here to see Dalton Tucker. Yeah, Tucker, Housden, and Senior, 42, 41, and 40. Sitting
Senior
2nd through
chunk out of the ball.
4th. Currently, these 3 drivers here getting ready to gang up on the 45 of Brian Jones.
Maybe ganging up, but now that Dalton Tucker is behind him, we've gone from like 0.14 seconds back.
Now, Housden has fallen off with the dirty air his own teammate has given him here. Housden's falling way back. If you consider where he is to Brian Jones, he's off by 3/4 of a second. And Hunter Sr. taking a peek on the end of his own teammate. Tucker's trying a few different things out there. I'm wondering if Dalton Tucker's got something left in the tank here. Dalton Tucker could come in on the next round of pit stops, only take rights and go back out, which would then put Brian Jones to possibly putting on 4 to end the race. Now, right, so we still got some tangling up here to do. I would say our pit stop is going to be somewhere around 170 to 178. It's going to be our fuel window here.
Unless we have a caution, then everything goes to the wind.
Yep. Now you're right. They're saying about a 40-lap stint is what they're looking at on fuel. They could possibly stretch it out a little bit farther.
McCann has to be happy that that caution came out, because he was able to stay on the lead lap, even though they were creeping up on him.
Yeah, as you say that, Nick Ham currently heading down into his pit box. They are passing him now.
Yep.
Yep, I knew it. I knew you were going to do it. All right. Well, technically, still, looking at all of this, all these laps here in racing, we've only had 1 green flag stop. Lap number 38 and 40, these guys had come down, and some had picked, some had not. That involved Jake Christenberry, Nick Gillis, Wayne Eastwood, and Cody Reeder tangled up on that. Then lap 80, we had guys coming down into the pit. And then lap 127, Vincent Arthur here with a little bit of a blink out. So with those,
I only have 2 cautions on the books.
Yep.
And then you go 3 pit stops. And 4 4, 5, sometimes. Some people have been having a good old field day. Pit stop market, but yeah, over a half a second now. Brian Jones is leading Dalton Tucker. So if it's fresh air or if it's the other guys in the back being dragged down, something's going right for him.
Yeah, I was wondering if Brian Jones had been choking up a little bit when Ryan Housen started catching him. And now he's starting to apply the pressure again. Let's see if he can keep that expel forward up front before Dalton Tucker tries to reel him in here. Now, Dalton Tucker riding a little bit higher of a line than his own teammate Brian Housen there. They're shifting back and forth here just a little bit. Notice how Tucker rides about halfway to 3/4 of the way up the track. That may be for a little bit of tire conservation here. He's not riding as high as we've seen Brady Moats running. Brady Moats goes up there and can almost ride a finger along the side of the wall.
Now, how would it work? I mean, if Dalton Tucker, Ryan Housen, and Hunter Senior are all right close together, why wouldn't they make a little train? You know, and
some of the drafting here on turn exits will end up putting drivers into the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little bit tough. I would say it can be done, but once you start getting up around that 180, 190 mark, things start moving really quick. Currently, Dalton Tucker out there by himself at 192. Currently, this is allowing Ryan Housen to get a little bit closer here to Dalton Tucker and help push him down the straightaways.
Yeah, both Housen and Senior are scraping the ball something big.
Yep.
Once a lap.
Stella, you mentioned Nick Ham staying on the lead lap. Nick Ham has been down in pit road for the last 3.5 minutes.
What happened?
Well, about 12 laps, and Cody Reeder will have a top 10 finish if Nick Ham stays stuck in pit road.
Sorry. Wow. Well, that is the advantage we always say. Come back out.
Yeah,
Do
see
your time.
something at the right front fender there.
Scuffing.
Right. Now, I don't see anything damage related enough to keep him out.
Yeah, what would happen? What, about lap 140, 141?
Just about. Lap 149.
Right?
Yep. So 10 laps down here.
Whoop, here he comes.
4.5 minutes. Nick Ham getting back to it. Ten laps down, and his Cody Reeder catching him. All right, let's see the mix-up here. Ryan Housen regains the second position as Dalton Tucker sits third. Jacob Gladelick coming on in. I think he notices that's that 40-lap mark. He's going to come in.
Okay.
Gladelick will be, I'm sure, 4 tires of fuel and back out. And he's going to have to really haul to stay up front before these guys taking tires a little bit later on. Try to run him down. Right now, Brian Jones slacking way off here. And that 6/10 gap has been scrubbed. I think Housen is going to have to try to go around the outside. I don't believe Brian Jones is going to let him take a peek to the inside. That's where he's been passed every single time here tonight. Brian Jones taking a look back. Target machine. Taking a look down toward the bottom. Housen trying to get a solid roll here. into turn 3. Getting super close here. Take a peek. No, he's not going to get it. Trail breaking there for the 41. Takes a peek. Brian Jones taking a look. Boy, starting to mirror drive here. Brian Jones going to have to block.
Yeah.
Yep, little contact there. And I think that's going to let Housden squeak on by here. Drag race to the line. That's going to go to Housden on lap 164. Currently, Brian Jones might be starting to tick off there and say, hey, it might be a chance. Housden rides it a little farther up the track. Brian Jones knows what he's doing. He's trying to get the rest of his team to get around Jones as well. This is a 3-on-1 here. Chip Nossi sitting down. 2 cars on the bottom, 1 car in the back on the top, and we got Brian Jones trying to keep and hold his ground. Just like that, we're back in line here. Brian Jones taking a look. Dalton Tucker going to hold the bottom line, hold the top line. Jones to the bottom. Might have no room to rotate to the top, as it looks like Dalton Tucker's going to shut the door on him, and he does. Brian Jones starting to feel the pressure here from no tires on the left side there. He's unable to pivot like he wants. Yep, that's going to do it. Here it comes. Watching his speed. 48. Yeah, he made it. Okay.
This was his clue that it is now time. So our 5th and 6th place, John Scott Nicky, also came down while we were having that battle. It looks like they took 4 tires of fuel, but Brady Moats, I'll tell you, he had his on fire, 13.12%. And he only took 2 tires for some reason.
Yeah,
so
there's a good chance he may have taken a full tank of fuel and only right sides.
What?
Hunter Senior's looped it. That is not going to bring out a caution, though.
Shouldn't.
And we'll take a peek here. What happens here to Brady Moats? Entering pit box. Right side's up. Right side's down. Full tank of fuel.
There you go. Okay. That explains that then.
Yep, so right side's only there. Currently Ryan Housden, 4 tires and fuel. Pressy. Still waiting for him to come on down. Stella, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan Housden, I see him coming out of pit road. But I'm not showing a pit stop time.
It's showing him coming in again.
Okay, this should be his 5th stop. I was wondering why Housden was down on the bottom of the track.
Unless this is a drive-through. No.
Nope.
Odd. So, Nick Press is the only one still running on lap 129 tires.
I want to see what happened here to Ryan Housden.
Yeah, because that's a game changer.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, I thought Housden drove all the way through. He did not pit. Yep.
Okay, somebody got to explain that one to me.
The reasoning I would assume that would happen is Housden came and sped down pit road. So to avoid being held up 15 seconds in the box, he just drives through. Resets his car back up and drives back in.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yep, so Housden will be a lap down now. As we are still waiting for Nick Pressy to pit. Here he comes. Pressy working his way down pit road. That's going to put Jacob Gladelick into the lead. Brian Housden is a lap down, but currently the 41 is sitting right behind the leader. Housden's been fast all night. Expect to see him make a pass here on the 20. If I'm Jacob Gladelick, go ahead and let him on by. No sense of putting up that fight. Gladelick having to be super careful on his tires. He's sitting at 160s when he came down for fuel and tires. 12 laps he's been on them.
So now that puts Housden back on the lead lap.
Yes.
Yep.
Housden back onto the lead lap. Currently, Jacob Gladelick has a 2-second margin over top of Brady Motes, but who's coming on strong? Dalton Tucker. Tucker making the pass here. Brady Motes came in on 161. Tucker's got 5 lap pressure tires. Brian Jones starting to slowly feel this one slipping away here as he tries to keep everyone close. Brian Jones getting in there tight. Boy.
Yeah,
Brady
right
Motes.
behind. Motes blocked him, so he went low, and man, Motes got close.
Yeah, I think Motes wants trying a little too hard to get up here in the booth. He definitely is trying to tick him off here. Brady Motes falls down to 4th. Matthew George, I think, is getting ready to make the pass here on Skabnicki. This will give him 6th place. Good pass there. Let's stick back to Dalton Tucker. He is currently out in front of Brian Jones by half a second. Brian Jones finally getting 4 tires and fuel in that car. Brady Motes only took right sides, and I'm wondering if that's why he's suffering. But Brian Jones definitely showed that a set of right side tires definitely worked out very well. Stella, in the first part of the race and the stint here for Brian Jones, he's one of the fastest drivers out there on the track on 4 fresh tires. Now, can he capitalize on that since Dalton Tucker has actually been stronger in the second half of his race?
In the second half of, like, between pit stop to pit stop?
Yes.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, he needs to get ahead of him.
Right. Well, right now, Brian Jones hopefully has given everything he's got. With as rubbered up as this track is getting, I think everything is tripping the most of these drivers up as to what in the world is exactly the right way to run this track right now.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting. I know we had a league that would sit before they did qualifiers to run fuel out of the tank. And I'm wondering whether Dalton Tucker has a better car with a lighter fuel tank. If that's why in between pit stops, the second half of his race is better than the first. Would it have anything to do with the change in weight in his car?
Possible. We'll kind of keep an eye here. Right now, this is for the lead. Gladelick down on the bottom. This will give a chance for Brian Jones to catch back up if Gladelick can put up a solid fight here. Tucker does have the lead now. Currently, Gladelick watching this slip away. Very quickly, the 42 getting ready to slice down toward the bottom. Who's in the front? I believe that's Cody Reeder. Mountain Dew machine getting ready to block our leader here. And it's going to take away that low line. I like it.
I think it's making Gladelick closer to Dalton Tucker. Otherwise, I think Dalton would put on the afterburns. Gone.
Right.
Using Jacob as a block for Brian Jones.
Cody Reeder was pretty fast here tonight, even before all the damage that he had collected. So currently Dalton Tucker behind a lap car here of Cody Reeder. Cody Reeder came in on lap 156. Him, so he's got tires still hook and roll. We are currently seeing Brian Jones sticking here with the number 20.
Tucker.
Yep. Well, Dalton Tucker has made the break. He has gotten far enough away. Cody Reeder still has enough speed to stay out front and not risk going down another lap. Currently, Cody Reeder still needs to make up 12 more laps if he wants to get a top 10 finish. And Nick Ham is quickly churning those laps away, trying to stay out front and end up with no more damage. Tucker is showing everybody out here why he is number one out there in the points. Jacob Vladalik looking for his second podium here of the season.
Yeah, but they've just gone in this last 2 laps. Went from 1 to 1.5 seconds behind.
Yeah, Dalton Tucker just went half a second faster than Jacob Vladalik took that lap. Right
that's
now,
what I'm saying. He just put on the afterburners. Wow. And then Brian Jones is behind him by another 1/4 second.
yeah. The big question I would have for Brian Jones is, was the 2-tire call the right call? Would he take that back or would he do it again? Yep. Now seeing I think Hunter Sr. sitting back about 3, almost 4 seconds behind Brian Jones. I think we might be looking
At our podium finishers.
Yes. All right. 15 laps left to go here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTraX Broadcasting for the UAW-GM Quality 500. It's been an excellent race here so far. Only 2 cautions. Very upset KPR team. A very deflated DEI team. And a Chip Nasi team is showing they are just about untouchable out there.
Top 5 there?
Yes. Yeah, with Ryan Housden coming down into pit road a little too fast. That's going to solidify him for an 8th place finish. Brady Motes. Uh-oh.
Oh.
I think Brady Motes may have sent it a little too hard.
2 tires. Yep, he's been... Yeah, 2.5 minutes now. He crunched. Want to take a look and see what he did?
Might be able to do that. Let's see if we can find something here on it. Yep.
I'm feeling it. That's the Kelly big one.
Brady Motes may have had an issue back here on lap 1. Let's see if we can take a peek here. It looks like Brian Jones fading off just a little bit here.
Wait.
Again.
Doom.
Again.
Doom. Oh,
Again.
man. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that Brad did it there. You say he's just had
Yeah.
enough.
He is probably struggling like crazy just to get it into pit road. Okay. Well, now we know. I just like to know what happens.
Well, interesting race here so far. I think Brian Jones could definitely use picking up one more position here. I don't think he's going to have any opportunity. His own teammate of Cody Reeder snugs in behind him, though.
He's been all, like you say, surrounded by the other team.
Yeah, with the lack of Dustin Kleba being here, that only leaves Cody Reeder being the last one, and Dalton Tucker up and away. 7 laps left to go, leading by 3.6 seconds.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a large gap.
Yeah, I think Cody Reeder's trying to see if he can do anything to help Brian Jones get around the Home Depot car. I was just wondering, does Jacob Gladelick have enough fuel? He came in on 160, so he would be braking at exactly 40 laps.
Interesting. Yeah, to go from, dare I say, back of the pack to and now here he is, you know, getting top 5.
Oh, yeah, Gladelick? Yeah. Still stays in a white and orange car, though.
Yeah. Oh. Yes. Yes, he does.
Well, we all figured it out there at Daytona that it was a good idea to probably give him a bright light, or a bright color. So I think he was out there in a white car and squashed him.
Well, when
Who
people
was that? Kyle Rochelle?
trying to psych the next guy out, and they would wait till the last second and then swerve to the side, and the next guy in line. And
They just like their camera time. Being able to get a nice fast swoop on the side.
They would sit there and count how many people chose.
Cody Reeder. A little lapse of judgment by those two. I thought we were about to end up in a caution. Hunter Sr.
Oh, with 2 laps to go.
Oh my gosh, that was close. Yep. See, even out there in the chat, Hunter Sr. coming alive though. This is him currently in 4th.
Yep.
Looked like Hunter Sr. and Cody Reeder may definitely bumped off one another last lap. Hunter Sr.'s coming alive here. I see the 40 kind of popping into the screen. Dalton Tucker still on the final lap here. Through lap turn 1 and 2. He's most likely going to win this thing unless he has a catastrophic failure. So we're going to stick here with 2, 3, and 4. And 11th.
5.5.
Oh, Reeder! A lapped car, the 19. Having some trouble here. He's going to go. Hunter Sr. blinking out here.
Blinking, yes.
Wow, crossing the line. Jacob Gladelick is 2nd. Brian Jones is 3rd. Hunter Sr. finishes 4th. and gives Cody Reeder the business. Gives Cody Reeder the business. Oh, boy. Gotta love it.
You and your drama.
It's always something. These guys can't just race. I'm just wondering, did Cody Reeder accidentally ricochet off the wall and catch Hunter Sr. there, or what happened?
I do not know, but we bet we have time to look.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. We might be able to take a peek. We didn't have anything go in the past few laps here. As we see Dalton Tucker come away with yet another win here. Stella, how many is that?
Oh, gosh. I don't know.
All right. That is actually number 9.
9 wins, yeah. 14 podiums.
Yeah, this is huge here. What an excellent season by Dalton Tucker. This guy almost
Next
cannot be
closest.
defeated here. What an excellent job.
Yeah, Brian Jones is next closest with 6.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go back and we're going to see real quick what happened to Hunter Sr. and Cody Reeder to get them fighting, and we'll be right on back. All right, everybody, finally catching up with all this. Kind of a little bit harder to see here, but we kind of follow along. Cody Reeder's high side here, and it looks like Cody Reeder a little closer to the wall. Hunter Sr. gives him a little nudge there. Not quite sure what that was all about, but he got a little upset. I think Cody Reeder looks to battle on back to see if he can run him down again. Reeder to the outside. Makes a clear pass there on the 40. And that's just over the last slew of laps here. And that's where, this is where Reeder kind of wiggled it a little bit here. Hunter Sr. blinks out, and this is them crossing the line here for the final time. Yeah, I see Chained out there saying that possibly the 19 comes off the wall. That's why I was given an overhead look there. That way we could determine whether that was the case or not. All right, guys, hang in just a moment there. I want to make sure there was nothing going on and Cody Reeder wasn't doing anything crazy out there, but awesome job here. This will give us an opportunity to let me show you where all your favorite drivers ended up. And then I will reel in the final of our guys, and we'll get this ready to go here. Nick Pressey, not bad. 6th place finish. That's 8 gained on the night. Same with Matthew George. George ended up in the top 5. Awesome job. Brian Jones started 3rd, ended 3rd. Hunter Sr. started back in 11th. Finished at 4th. Not bad. So, Dalton Tucker, awesome win here tonight. Appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTraX Broadcast. We'll be right on back after I run our guys down. All right, everybody, catching up with our third place finisher here. I've got Brian Jones. All right, Brian, I've got a lot of things to talk to you about here, and we'll kind of nudge the first one here. Very strong car at the beginning of the run. Little slacks off a little bit toward the second half where we were driving a little too hard.
Yeah, definitely. I was doing something wrong to kind of burn off the right front a little bit more than Dalton was. I mean, it wasn't really, really bad, but just a little bit more than Dalton was. He could definitely get to me at the end of the runs. But, you know, cautions kind of fell in my favor tonight. I had really good pit times and pit road entries, except for the very last one. Dalton got me on that one. It was kind of what put him around me, I guess.
All right. I'm glad you bring up pit stop times because I want to talk to you a little bit about one of them. The big one was you only taking right side tires and fuel to get back out there. Everybody else took 4. Do you resent that, or would you go back and do 2 tires again?
It was absolutely the right call. Put me out front, give me clean air, get those guys battling with each other. It was a great call.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I noticed down toward the end of that stint as well. Remember, you had all 3 of them around you, and I wasn't sure if we were doing that to tighten up the race car on the right side and possibly use that to help hook you around the turns. It's pretty tough, especially when you're behind that wheel. Really, what's the best call and what's the best thing to do out there? We'll see. Well, you know, kind of how does it? You know, how does it feel with your team? Kind of get a little wound up here over the past couple of weeks. You know how you were able to come away with yet another podium finish.
Are you asking about my team?
Kind of both. You know, it's how does it feel for you coming away with another podium finish, and how is it working with your team that's been really struggling here the past few weeks?
Well, I think the only struggling we've been doing is just frustration. You know, frustration with the racing, frustration with how our races have been going personally. But I'm still somewhat in the points contention for the championship. Dalton kind of inches ahead every single week. But theoretically, I'm still in it. So I'm just trying to maximize the points every night. I think I led the most laps tonight. Definitely led a lap. Got third, so not a terrible points tonight. It would have been nice to get at least second. I think Dalton was definitely the fastest car tonight, so congrats to him. But you know, I got to maximize my points too.
If we're talking about maximizing points, next week is Martinsville. Confidence level heading there. I mean, I would assume if you can get out front and stay out of the cautions, this way, you know, normally for me it's in the bag.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell with Martinsville because people make mistakes, get into the back of you, kind of injure race sometimes. It could be anybody's game. You know, if you get a lucky pit stop or, I don't know, things happen at Martinsville and you can't really predict them. But just got to stay out of trouble and, again, try to maximize points.
All right. Brian, shout-out time.
Big shout-out to wife, Alanis. She supports all my racing, and I really appreciate that. Big shout-out to LJ Hernandez and the family. Appreciate you guys watching. Big shout out to Expel. Use code Alanis20 for 20% off all car care products. I don't know what else. Home Field Apparel. We don't have any codes for them. All the things. Go support them.
Awesome. Brian Jones, congratulations on another podium finish, man. You definitely were the only Ford here in the top 5, and we'll see how you do in the next couple of honestly, in the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping Martinsville definitely turns this thing on its head, and you guys are able to make up some ground on Dalton Tucker out there. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
It's Martinsville, and then what else? There's something after that. What are the races coming up?
Martinsville. After Martinsville, we end up at Atlanta, Phoenix, and then Darlington. And finish off with Homestead.
Martinsville, Atlanta, Phoenix, and Darlington.
Yep.
Okay,
And
I like
Homestead.
all those tracks except for Martinsville. I'm not bad at Martinsville, but I just don't really enjoy it because the chaos.
Right. The whole thing is what can you do to top over Dalton Tucker? I mean, if he has a horrible night at Martinsville, there's a good chance the two of you guys rubbing elbows with three races or 3 or 4 races to go.
Well, yeah, it could be that. I'm also really, really, really riding on him missing the final race, I believe. He might have something to do that week, so
Oh, no.
maybe he doesn't show up. I don't know. Things happen.
Wow.
So where are you going to have him tied up in the trunk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, Stella, make sure we write that one down, that Dalton Tucker may be MIA final week. So we will definitely ask him, as Jacob Gladelick has already loaded up into the trailer here tonight and heading off. Brian Jones, congratulations on the third place finish, buddy.
Thank y'all.
All right, Brian Jones. That's going to move us on to Dalton Tucker, our race winner here of the night. Boy, that guy was on fire. Dalton, I think I said last time that if I talk to you again, you're going to be leading the interview. So go ahead and take it away, man. This is your 9th win here of the season.
Oh, you definitely don't want me doing that.
Oh, well, obviously you've got this thing down. You know exactly what to do, when to do it. Before I talk a little bit about, you and Brady Moats probably shouldn't mess around on football and stick to the racing, that we could talk a little bit about, how in the world did you end up with so much speed right here at the end of this race to win it by 5.5 seconds here at the end?
Honestly, it's just track position. When we were behind Brian, it felt like the next gen where you couldn't make a move if someone's air blocking you, and he was very good at it all night. Once I could get in front of him, I could put some time, especially late in the run. But it was extremely hard to get around somebody, and it almost had to be to where they just let you by instead of actually racing you, because if they wanted to stay in front of you, they definitely could, because Jacob did it to Brian and held on to second, which I thought was amazing. You don't normally see him up front, so for him to be able to come home with a second, I thought that was pretty awesome.
But you running down Cody Reeder there, that a lapped car, and it almost seemed like he was helping you.
I don't know if he was helping me as much as Jacob was hurting Brian. It was kind of hard to tell. I know I thought there was some kind of games going on, so I knew I didn't want to be near him. I knew that his teammate's Brian. I didn't know if he was trying to slow me down to help Brian get to me, but Jacob was in the way, or I didn't know what was going on. So when I got around Cody, it made me feel a lot better. Still not great. I just did not like that track and how the air was. But once I got around him, I had a clean track and it drove a whole lot better, which I think you could tell definitely on the broadcast.
Yeah, you kind of took off there. And that's why I was asking, is there a secret sauce, or was it the clean air as usual? Now, a lot of things did happen with Jacob Gladelick making the block out there with Brian. I thought maybe Cody Reeder went back there to get behind his own teammate and try to push him past. And that almost ended up bringing Hunter Sr. Very close to wrecking out there. It almost looked like the 19 had ricocheted off the wall, but actually it was Hunter Sr. that rolled up and caught the edge of the 19 and almost wrecked those two out here with 2 to go, which would have been heartbreaking for your team. Ryan Housden ended up, I guess, speeding into pit road. That's why he had to do a drive-through. I mean, and once again, you're the one who seems to stick it out, coming away with another podium, another win, and that just this thing seems to be kind of falling right into place. Is this going to be an easy walk to the end, or are these last few playoff races, man, going to be the icing on top?
I don't think it's going to be easy by no means. I mean, I'm one race away from potentially just turning this upside down and letting someone like Brian or whoever's the next in line to be right there with me again. It kind of sucks after winning 4 of the 5 and also having a good finish in that 5th one at Dega, for it to still be somewhat close enough to where if I wreck, something can definitely get kind of hairy at that point. But it's just, I told the guys, Hunter and Ryan, we went into pit and I told them what lap I was pitting on probably 10 laps before we actually did, and they all came on the radio and said, hey, are we pitting? I was like, well, shoot, we probably don't all need to pit at the same time, because this is going to be it's just gonna be tight. And unfortunately for Ryan, he kind of set the speed for me, so I could hit pit lane hard, and he sped. Well, by me hitting it hard, then you got Hunter behind me that was also coming in hard, and then had to miss me, or he had to check up or something. So it definitely wasn't the most
graceful.
Yeah, it wasn't graceful for a team to all pit at the same time like that.
I thought it was very well coordinated, but executed a little sloppy there at the end. But Dalton, you were able to win it yet again. That's 9 here. Awesome. It looks like you keep this winning streak up and moving. You might be trying to do a burnout of number 60 out there before the end of the season. There's definitely still some poking around, some possibilities, man. Awesome job, Dalton. Shout out time.
Well, speaking of 60, it depends if it's my 60 or Josh's 60, because they're definitely different. But I'd love to get it this season. We'll see if it happens. I know that's a big ask with the guys you got in this league, like Vinny and Brian and Dustin, Josh, Brady, all of them. And you saw tonight, even Jacob can be up there. So that'd be a huge ask, but we'll see if we can get it. As always, big shout out to everybody in the league. I was praying for no caution at the end, and they pulled it out. So big shout out to everybody. Appreciate y'all in the booth. This one's gonna be interesting to see, just with all the battles, because nobody could really pull ahead, and it seemed like we were always close together until the last run. And should be a entertaining one to watch at least. And just looking forward to Martinsville, hoping we can keep it clean there. It's gonna be different. It's usually I go out there running just trying to win, and maybe I do that. Maybe I just try to keep it clean and come home with a solid finish, just so I don't lose too many points. But not sure how I'm gonna attack it yet.
Awesome. Well, I gotta say, there was a lot happening all over the track here tonight. I think you're probably in pretty safe area, but hey man, anything can happen, especially when you head to Martinsville. So we'll see how it goes. Dalton Tucker, congratulations once again, man. Definitely, you were on a tear here as of late, and I don't know, man. It just seems everything falls right into your lap here right at the end. Maybe just some lucky pitting or something, because you can definitely race that car out there, buddy, and can't wait to see what kind of lies in store for you in the upcoming year. Dalton, congratulations, buddy, and we'll see you next week.
All right, appreciate it, y'all.
Yep. All right, everybody. Dalton Tucker coming away with yet another win. This guy is insanely fast. I don't know how in the world he is able to do it week in and week out. And I appreciate you guys all joining us here at SimTraX Broadcasting. Stella making her return back here to the league and here in the booth with me. Stella, do you have anything left to add here right at the end?
Not too much. It's nice to be back, and I will be here for the next couple races too.
Beauty. All right. Well, that should be excellent. Guys, go ahead and keep in mind and turn in that notification bell. I should have enough streams linked up and ready to go here for these upcoming races that are going to be taking place. But that's going to do it for us here at SimTraX Broadcast, and bring you the UAW-GM Quality 500, the National Oval Racing Association Gen 4 Cup Series. Be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see all you guys next time.